So you're sitting on your desk thinking to yourself, Kyron, what a crazy title. $4,700, make me a millionaire with Polkadot. Isn't it a bit too late for that? Polkadot is a top 14 altcoin by market cap. How the hell are you going to convince me that $4,500-ish is going to make me a millionaire with this project? Well, as you all know on this channel, I like to take some of these hard to believe principles, apply maths, apply primitives in terms of actual financial primitives in crypto, which is a fast-paced moving industry, and then give you the actual answer to this. Now, it's going to surprise you, all right, without giving any sort of hints away. You're going to want to find the reason out how this can even happen, because it's very rare this can actually happen with a top altcoin, any altcoin for that matter, but Polkadot's different. Polkadot separates itself from the rest, and I am going to explain to you how. So I haven't just picked Polkadot because I felt like talking about Polkadot today. There's a very good reason why the amount I've chosen is there and why it's Polkadot. So please stay tuned as to the reasons why. Now, first of all, I want to say, before I get into some of this more basic stuff, guys, if you do find yourself enjoying this, whether you agree with me, whether you don't agree with me, whatever, if you find yourself loving this and it's good entertainment, I would love if you could drop down there right now and provide me a like on this video. That in of itself really does make my day, so thank you for doing that. And of course, hell, if you really feel like putting a smile on my dial, subscribe so you can achieve your crypto goals. Now, let's talk a little bit about what Polkadot is. I'm not going to go into this too much. I've made two somewhat recent videos over the last couple of months talking more about Polkadot. I've been speaking about this project now for a very long time, and so have many others. Polkadot is a project focused on connecting the Web3 space. That's why I've put this right over in the Web3 category, okay? Basically, it pretty much provides a framework for layer 1 blockchains to be built on top of it, which in turn allows more applications to be built in the ecosystem, and therefore, them be more connected and so on and so forth, okay? It is the very groundwork. It's the very framework. You can almost compare it to the likes of Layer 0 being like a sort of middle ground between many different blockchains out there. Again, Cosmos is one of the more popular examples of a competitor. Now, it's focused on Web3. It's focused in crypto terms. However, it also technically will overlap, I believe, eventually to Web 2. Like we're finding here with some of these investment funds that Polkadot is being adopted into, I think Polkadot will actually claw itself outside of Web3 and more into Web 2. Nevertheless, there is a lot of demand to still come from this project because it appeals to the degens. It appeals to some of that dumb money that's happily throwing money into projects, and with some of the massive upgrades happening for Polkadot here soon, I think it's bound to happen. Okay, so what we're looking at here is, of course, Polkadot's chart as of today. Now, on average, in the last 12 or so months, since the bear market basically started, Polkadot's average price has been $5.80. Now, where we sit at $6.90 right now, we're only 91% up, guys. We aren't even a 2x up or 100% up. We're not even that yet, all right? So we're right now sitting at a perfect time to accumulate thanks to the recent market dip. This is why I've been screaming in recent videos telling you guys, you got to have cash on the side for these moments, okay? Accumulate when the bull market ramps up. Don't DCA on the dips, because if you're able to pick up Polkadot right now, it's a bloody bargain. As I said to you moments ago, the lowest point in the bear market was $3.60, okay? So we're only not even a 2x up from there. And the average, we are right next to it. So you're not too far away if you haven't, bought any Polkadot yet. You're right there. You're right there to when most people that had been buying for the longest time have been buying, okay? So let's now have a look. $4,700 into 1 million. But Kyron, that's a 213x. You're nuts. I agree. That is kind of nuts to think about. Well, I'm going to show you how to do this in only a 25x. 25x. What are you talking about, mate? Again, let me kind of shed some light on this. But again, I can't just tell you this core financial principle and apply it to crypto without talking about Polkadot being the reason why this can even happen in the first place. The short answer is there's many different aspects that make Polkadot a really appealing project. Number one, it's software, not a security, okay? So what that fundamentally means is Polkadot is not a security, it's a commodity. It's been verified, and ultimately, this is a very bullish thing. This in of itself is one of the reasons why it's been, used within a few of these very niche and nuanced investment firms and funds that I'll talk about later on. Also, it is moving away from parachains to block space. So renting core time is what it'll pretty much employ for developers and, new layer 1 projects wanting to actually develop on Polkadot. So what this looks like is if these blocks here were the subsequent or the sequential blocks in the blockchain, right? Block 1, block 2, block 3, block 4, and block 5. You might have project number 1 down here renting and buying out a whole bunch of effectively what's called, again, block space, the actual space within the block itself, which means it's consuming that much data and information. That's how much it's requiring of Polkadot to rent out, like a computer, right? It's renting out basically parts of a decentralized computer. You might have project number 2 come on board here, paying a bit less money because it doesn't need that much space right now, which means devs can save money. And then project number 3 might come on board, so on and so forth. So basically, again, you can just rent out parts of this decentralized computer. Again, it's software, not a security. So ultimately, that means that it's quite decentralized and allows this to sort of happen, okay? Also, let's not forget about permanent bridge to Ethereum for higher liquidity is being created right now. The Snow Bridge, that is a very bullish sign that will unlock a lot of liquidity for Polkadot and also allow the overall ecosystem to prosper. Again, these ecosystem projects, parachains as they're still called, and the dApps built on the parachains, they form mini communities, okay? Just like Uniswap, some of these smaller projects built on, for example, a much larger project like Ethereum, they create communities, they create evangelists, which then fall in love with the underlying blockchain itself, which is, of course, in this case, Polkadot. Plus, there is also new burn mechanisms being implemented. There already is a burn mechanism right now. This next burn mechanism will actually burn some of the fees generated from people hiring out core time and block space, plus that possible ETF coming up soon as well. Now, like I said before, there is currently already an income fund using basically Polkadot as one of the assets, one of the 3 assets on that, which is the Grayscale Dynamic Income Fund, or GDIF. This is some very, very big stuff as well, and I do not want to leave out one of the biggest updates Polkadot has had in the longest time now, Jam. This isn't actually technically affiliated with Polkadot per se yet, but I firmly do believe, so do many others, that Jam, which is this new sort of protocol developed by the founder of Polkadot, being Gavin Wood. This has been proposed recently at Token 2049 in Dubai, and it looks like this is going to really change the game for Polkadot as well if it is implemented. It technically is a separate protocol, but it can be overlapped with Polkadot. So I'm going to make a really deep dive video on this, as deep dive as, of course, you kind of want to get on this topic, high level, so to speak. And it's going to be on the next Polkadot video I make. So stay tuned for that because, again, it's these small little updates that you can pick up in a project along the way. And us investors think to ourselves, how do people find these small coins like Polygon before they're 130x or 300x? Cardano before they're 100x? How does it happen, right? Or example, in this case of Polkadot. How did we not see Polkadot going from $690 today to $150 in the bull run? How did we not see that? And then, you get all the people saying, well, all these upgrades that came out, I sort of realized, well, this is one of those upgrades, okay? So pay very close attention. Now, I would be lying if I told you guys that I didn't speak about all of this stuff in my last video on Polkadot. So this is the thumbnail of that video. I would highly recommend you have a look at it and do more research. Again, these videos I make on Polkadot really dive deep into some of these aspects, but for the most part, touches on it very, very basically, okay? So that's why it's kind of important you follow up multiple videos. And again, the next one will be very, very big. Next week, I'll be doing that Jam video. So stay tuned. A little bit of a teaser, if you will, a bit of a fun fact about myself is the reason I kind of got known in the industry, the first thing I was known for wasn't no BS crypto, straightforward crypto reviews. It was actually the Polkadot guy. I fell in love with Polkadot first. This was the first project I ever liked, and the parachains were the reason for that, and I'm loving the fact that I'm coming full circle here, guys. So with that being said, let's now dive into that sort of financial primitive that I was talking about before and how we can leverage all of this amazing information. And I really want you to keep it in the back of your mind. This is critical for what I'm about to tell you, okay? I didn't just spit off a bunch of these facts for no reason, okay? These are very important into the overall success of what I'm about to tell you. I'll keep this part quite brief because I know a lot of you have already seen me talk about this sort of topic, but I really want to emphasize it for Polkadot specifically, again, because like I said moments ago, Polkadot is a rare case where this can apply, truly apply, alrighty? Now, if you saw my last Polkadot video, you would know that I've spoken about, towards the very, very end of it, very briefly, something called compounding, right? It's a common financial tool, but people talk about compounding, over 30, 40, 50 years, investing once every week, once every month, whatever it is. And you can multiply your investment quite significantly doing that. But what I talk about here is something called multi-cycle compounding, making money this cycle, selling it this cycle, buying back in the next bear market, and then also looking to sell in the next cycle after that, okay? Now, what I'm going to show you here is a bit more detail than what I typically would for this kind of breakdown. I'm going to show you how this can be very realistic, and I'm actually going for a very conservative outcome here. So what I'm talking about is most people kind of presume when they're looking at, okay, Kyron, I'm going to have to get my $4,500 with Polkadot and then look to 213x that. That's crazy, because they think to themselves, I have to turn that, which is, if you do buy this right now, 681 DOT, I have to sell all of that in this cycle for those 213x gains, okay? Sell at the top here, or hold off until 2030, or maybe even 2040, or in perpetuity, and then sell, right? So it's that one sort of single buy, then sell. It's that single transaction people get confused about, but that's wrong, okay? Because if you were to do this, at least in any of these cycles, what you're looking for in that case is a $1,470 DOT token, which will get you the goal of $1 million. So the market cap for DOT would roughly have to be about 2.1 trillion at best. That's at today's circulating supply, all right? So it's going to be a lot more if the longer you leave it, really. And that's kind of crazy to think about, okay? That's pretty much the current global market cap of crypto right now. To be honest with you, as crazy as this might sound, I wouldn't be surprised if in 20, 30 years, Polkadot's market cap could be that, depending on how well crypto overall as a new industry survives. If it survives and thrives, I actually believe it. I think Polkadot will be a standard in this industry, which is why this applies. So I'm going to show you why that's wrong, okay? Again, this is the math you're looking at here. 681 DOT tokens multiplied by the price gives you this overall money in the bank, all right? So here's the unlock. And to give you like the very, very basic rundown on what the unlock is, all the unlock is you trying to just simply get more tokens. If you can accumulate more tokens with the initial capital you put in, that $4,500, if you can somehow acquire more tokens in that time, then you're going to be able to sell at a lower price overall, rather than that $1,470. This is why it's also very important to stake your crypto as well, because when you stake, you don't get dollars, you get tokens. When the price appreciates, you can then sell on the top, make more money. For example, with myself, with Mina Protocol, I am getting about 700 tokens a month. When I sell at $10 for my price, when I'm going to sell my Mina Protocol, that's $7,000 a month I am making completely for free. Now, Polkadot has a really good APY as well. It's give or take anywhere between, I think, 10 to 15%. So you are getting even more rewards than that. So think about it in that sense. Long unlock schedule for Polkadot, sure, but can be worth it if you hold for 12 months. Now, how you create financial freedom is done in this way. This is the different approach, the mindset that you have to have that smart money has. Smart money doesn't think today, tomorrow, in a week, or in a month. They think over multiple years. It's very simple as that. This is why most people stay in the unfortunate financial position that they are in now, okay? So, if today in the same situation, you buy 681 Polkadot after this video, non-financially, you go ahead in your own terms and buy $4,700 worth of Polkadot, and then you sell at a simple 10x in the coming cycle. It's just a 10x from today. Very feasible, I believe. Very feasible. The market cap for Polkadot would roughly have to be about 100 billion, given that we have 1.5 billion supply. Again, this is very common amongst the top 20 altcoins, probably the top 40 altcoins to some degree. At one moment, they should hit 100 billion market cap. You'll get $47,000. You take that, a very important step here. You take the 47 grand, you take off 11 grand for tax, which is what it works out to roughly speaking be. Now, if the price from that $100 all-time high, okay, not the price that you saw, the all-time high for Polkadot, if it is $100, drops 90%, which is very common in crypto, probably will fall even more, you'll be able to buy $36,000 worth of Polkadot. This is why it's important to choose Polkadot here. Any other cryptocurrency, well, most others, you won't be able to do this because they won't succeed in the next cycle. They will go well and truly beneath what they likely have been in this cycle because hype will die off. Not with Polkadot. I can guarantee in the most non-financial way, Polkadot will be here for the long term. It's just how it's been designed, just like Ethereum, okay? Now, you'd buy about 3,600 DOT with that transaction, okay? So at $10, $36,000. You see what we've done here? We've gone from 681 DOT and we've got more tokens. Now, in this interim, if you decide to stake your tokens as well, like once you buy them over here, right today, and then you stake for the next 12 months, and then you sell, you don't own any tokens here, you buy and then you stake, you're probably able to acquire a hell of a lot more tokens. You'll likely end up at this point in time when you decide to sell with not 3,600, but like 4,200 tokens, which means even more money. So then if we decide to put a conservative 2x on the all-time high, which will definitely go more than that, in the next cycle in 2030, we can then sell, roughly speaking, at the same sort of, off the top difference that we had at $30 from the all-time high, which means you'd be able to make $612,000. Now, that's why before I said overall to 25x-ish. It's not really 25x, and you're not actually getting $1 million. However, again, this is conservative. I could have sat here and punched the numbers and, move the numbers around to get you $1 million neat. But again, this right here, this 2x in overall market cap from top to top is conservative. Matter of fact, DOT's probably going to go even above $100 in this current bull run. It's probably going to go up even more than $200 in the next cycle. And for those of you wondering, Kyron, 300 billion market cap in 2030/2029, that's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. But again, we're going to have a lot more money in the cycle that time around. The global market cap will probably hit 15, 20 trillion. So really, is it a lot? No, that'll be the new standard, as this cycle's standard will be 100 billion, okay? So just keep this in mind. I'm going to have some people down there say, hey, this doesn't make much sense, Kyron, these numbers are kind of crazy. I would just say, if you haven't been in crypto for long enough, don't have to listen to me. Just experience this bull run. Just experience it and see the crazy numbers that gets pushed into some of these projects. It's hard to believe, okay? But it can happen with those very rare coins like Polkadot. Polkadot has one of the highest Nakamoto coefficient scores, which means it's one of the most decentralized projects out there. It also has a massive upgrade coming here soon, which is asynchronous backing, pretty much 8 times increasing the throughput of the network and therefore moving the overall theoretical TPS from 100,000 up to a possible 1 million across all its parachains. This thing is incredible and is completely decentralized. And I mentioned that OpenGov is completely there. So when I look at Polkadot here and say it's not a security, it's one that will last a long time, it's one that will truly stand the test of time, because regulation will eventually come in. It will kill most of crypto, but not Polkadot. Guys, thanks for watching this video today. Stay tuned for the next one. I can't wait to talk about Jam, and I'll see you all over there. Take care. Bye.